On the wall behind me are four certificates in what is called non destructive testing. There's supposed to be two more, but I only got those four. Earlier this year, there was an announcement that the president had fired four inspectors general. The dates of those specific firings correlate with the dates of my certificates in non destructive testing. Somebody took these certificates and took the notes associated with them and what they were supposed to be in terms of the techniques that they were meant for, including what I had composed as part of what would have been my application, and used them for high crimes. And he has been extorting people into cooperation. See, the remonstrations of feigned outrage or disappointment in his behavior are completely insincere. Somehow it was determined at a point in the past that I personally, but not exclusively, was allowed to be made an example of because I would not concede to an illegal political paradigm. And I'm just used as the pinata you all said you wanted to make Trump into during the campaign. And it's an ironic thing because apparently he doesn't have the credit to do what he's doing. I did, and people like me did. But the Democrats and those who claim to be his opponents also don't have the credit to do what they do. The only way they get it is by exploiting people like me. Now you want to continue perpetuating this forced collectivization without revealing that the last 3 years have had strategic moves put into effect to effectuate a form of reconsideration of the relationship between the United States and other countries that could have had significantly different terms. But right now is in the situation it's in because those who have stolen the political capital of the people of this country and squandered it so ridiculously that they can't even succeed in killing me personally, have sabotaged whatever other options we could have had in these arrangements. I said this a while ago. If there was an intent during the glasnost period and what resulted from it, that at some point there would need to be a sharing of assets between the United States and the countries of the former Soviet Union. Why did you allow child sex predators to set the policy goals? And why did you sacrifice what is good about this country for more than 25 years to cover up for their pedophilia? It's a very simple question. Every sector of American society is saturated with your soul bondage to pedophiles. You try to make occasional scandals about it to test our resiliency. That's what Epstein was. But you still haven't dealt with the Starr report. You still haven't dealt with all of the murders the Clintons put in their way on their way to the White House. You still haven't dealt with what Texas Gas and Oil did. You still haven't dealt with the resiliency uranium games that the Department of Energy did. Now we are where we are. And everything is unacceptable. I'm 43 years old. You took all of my life up until what I could retain with the last 5 years. I don't want anything. I don't want anything you did with what you stole from me and slandered me in regards to give to somebody else to make whatever you thought was acceptable for doing that. I don't want any of it. I don't want any of your technology. I don't want any of your policy. You know, I can't even read the opinions of judges in certain areas. I can't even read the arguments of former attorneys general or solicitor generals that ended up going to Congress or the Senate because their failure to perform their ministerial duties as congresspeople and senators is so glaring that I can't acknowledge they have the authority to even have a past history as a solicitor general or an attorney general. It's as if they were allowed to take things other people actually did, disappear those people, harvest their genetic materials, and then just put their name over it after they did some cosmetic edits. That's what you did to me. That's what you did to me. I see it all over the place. Who else did you do that to that could have actually been legitimate leadership or could have been people that actually produce something that other people want? Instead of what you give us as this horrible, horrible theater that nobody has the money to pay for because you keep robbing us to pay off the criminals that you let take our money and our lives. I didn't even actually analyze this. You know that I didn't even. It's that fucking glaring. Why didn't you say anything? Why didn't anybody say anything about this? There's no gag order on this. There's no disclose. Non-disclose. There's none of that. You don't get to say, well, it was confidential. We didn't get to tell you about how we raped you your whole life, and then we raped other people their whole lives to take really bad pornography and make it into some simulation of a digital currency, because the truth of the matter is anything of actual value that could be used to create money, well, I mean, we already squandered it and we've already used it on collateral on loans that we don't intend to pay. And unfortunately, because we so tanked and toxified our children, we don't even know if we can keep them alive long enough to close the deals we set up on them. Thanks. Thank you so much for your service to this country.